Once again, it's your boy Sugar Ray, and I want to welcome you to another episode of I Don't Know Much Podcast. This is, of course, written by you, directed by you, and produced by you. Today, man, I want to talk about taking a loss. A lot of us are in a place where we've taken a loss. We done built ourselves up. We done worked our tails off. We done got to a spot, and then boom, body blow. Or boom, uppercut. Man, life is filled with that. Now, I haven't always been a straight up and down guy. I haven't always been that. I'm from Baltimore City. And, in East Baltimore, coming up, illegal doesn't mean, or it didn't mean, wrong. It didn't mean not good. It just was a thing. It was just a formality. Legality was a formality where we came out. So I was in the street, man. And I remember taking this loss, bro. I'm going to tell you a true story. So I just graduated college. And I got back to Baltimore and I went back to doing the things I knew how to do, right? Which was hustling. Because I was a hustler. And, I did it all through college. That's how I put myself through college, to be quite frank with you, man. So anyhow, I get back and I get on, right? And I get a pretty good product, man. And I'm rolling. I'm rocking and I'm rolling one day. Couple days happen. And I'm doing some real serious numbers. And anyhow, right? Somehow somebody must have followed me to my home, right? Where I was staying. So they go up in the house. They take everything, right? A friend of mine had put me on. And I owed them money. So they take everything. They took the product. They took the money. And they took the firearms. They took everything. I had nothing. Nothing at all, right? And I didn't have steps. I didn't have anything, man. All I was trying to do was just trying to survive, trying to get some money, right? And I owed somebody some money. So what ultimately happened was this. I was good for nothing with nobody with anything. So I didn't know anybody else. The people that I was good with or good for, I owed them money. So I went to the Baltimore City Board of Education. Maryland Board of Education, actually, right? And I go up there and I applied for a job as a Baltimore City school teacher. And I became a school teacher. And the whole time, right, in my mind, I was just trying to get a couple checks. I'm going to get me a couple checks. I'm going to get back on. I'm going to start off small. This is the plan in my sick little mind, right? This is the plan, right? And I did that. But I took some steps and I realized now today I know now, right, that I could have did that. It could have been legitimate. It could have been something that lasted. It could have been something that went for a while, you know what I mean? It could have been something that had it been legitimate today, I could have been 10 times, 20 times past where I am right now. Could have easily have been that, man. So ultimately at the end of the day, I went through that and ended up taking another loss. But this time I had a little bit more awareness. At first, it was reactionary. This time, I had a lot more awareness. I was a little older. I was a little smarter, and I always knew how to grind. So I'm going to say this, man. I just want to help some people that's taking a loss, no matter what the loss is, man. It could be the loss of a loved one. It could be a loss of a family member. It could be loss of money. It could be the temporary loss of health. It could be any of a number of things, man. I just want to talk to you on how you get through these things, man. So number one thing you want to do is, and I had to do this because I didn't have a choice, was sit with the pain. Sit with the pain. You need to feel the pain. But don't set up shop. Don't set up camp in the pain. Don't become a victim. Don't start saying it's somebody else's fault. What happened is this. Write it down. Man, write down what happened. How did I get in this situation, man? What role did I play in getting myself into this situation? You got to take some responsibility, man. Then you got to think for a second. What did it cost you? Like if you're still here today and you can complain about it, right? If you're still here today, right, and you can do something about it, you're lucky. It didn't cost you your life. It didn't cost you your freedom. Hey, it didn't cost you your health. A lot of you, I'm just trying to give you some steps on how to recover. It didn't cover your life, your freedom, your health. You can go. You can still go, man. You can still go. And it's okay to have that cut. You need that wound. Let some light into that wound. You know what I mean? You got to let some light in that womb, and that way you can go, man. You got to, once you let light in that womb and that womb start to heal up, now it's time to take full ownership It was nobody's fault but yours. It don't matter if other people was involved. Doesn't matter who else was involved. It was nobody's fault but yours. Now, why are you saying that, Ray? Why can't I say it was Devin's fault if Devin was involved? Well, because you need your power. You need all the power you can get to get back on. You need all the power you can get to get back on your feet. And the only way you're going to have power is to take responsibility, because when you take ownership, right, even if other people were involved, right, you get the opportunity to control what it is that you can control. Never relinquish your power to somebody else. Any entity outside of yourself is relinquish your power, man. Now that you got some control, you got to say, well, what do I control? Who do I control? I control me. I control me. I control my thoughts. Control your thoughts. That's another step, right? I call it cleaning house. When you clean house, right, you detox yourself, man. You control your thoughts. You detox internally. You meditate. You pray. You get closer to source, right? That's the internal detoxification that's going to go on. The external detoxification. You get away from the people, places, and things that contributed or helped to contribute to the loss. But you got to remember, still not no victim, man. You victorious. You can't afford to be a victim, because once you're a victim, that's a loss. You've taken the loss, man. So you want to do that. Now it's time. After you sit with it, you do some detoxing. You know what I'm saying? You do some internal detoxing. You do some external detoxing. I've talked before about taking and gathering and organizing your local landscape, the things that you see. So when you see things around you, you see organization, things of that nature. You write. I'm going to tell you one of the things that I do, man. I write down stuff, man. When I go to the bathroom, I have to control my environment, right? We live in a negative world. The world's a negative place. So you have to play a major role in what it is that you see inside your environment, man. You are what you eat, both through your mouth, both orally, and also what you see, what you think. When I get up in the morning, I go to the bathroom, right? If I had to do, if I had to sit down, when I sit down, right, in the bathroom, right, I look up at the wall. No more than 3 feet in front of me, there's a sign that says I'm healthy, I'm strong, I'm disciplined, I'm abundant. I go to the kitchen, I get some juice, I get some water. There's a sign up that says you want to be more, you got to become more. Things of that nature. I am controlling the environment. I'm doing the external detoxification, and I'm getting myself together, man. After I get myself together, guess what time it is? You know what time it is? It's time to rebuild. It's time to take those steps, right? You don't want to do what I did when I took one of the first major losses as a young man, right? You don't want to do what I did, where you go through small steps to do the wrong thing, because all I did was lose again, and I lost again. And I didn't really win until I pulled my mentality out of those scenarios, man. So it's time to do that, man. When you rebuilding, right? This is another step. I hope you're writing it down, man. You got to have some non-negotiables. Non-negotiables. This is the time I go to sleep. This is the time I get up. We're not negotiating that. You got to write these times down. These are the times I go to sleep. These are the times I get up. And I'm going to tell you why, man. Because you don't want to lose your health chasing wealth. Get your wealth, and now you got to use your wealth to buy back your health. That puts you right back at zero. Man. So you got to pick a goal. Several categories, man. Pick a goal. Pick a financial goal. Look, man, I want to be at, $12,000 by the end of this such and such month, as on such and such day. Or that's one financial goal that you can do. Just make that goal. It doesn't matter what it is. Just pick a doable goal, but it got to be worthwhile. You pick a doable, worthwhile goal. You got another one. You may have a relationship goal. Like, I want to be able to communicate with whomever it is that I'm in relationship with to this degree. You know what I mean? I want to have clarity. I want to have transparency, right? Transparency. I always say transparency, it beats the brakes off honesty. You know what I'm saying? Honesty is like you ask a question and they answer the question honestly. You know what I mean? But they don't even have to ask you, because you say, look, I did this, I did that, I did the other thing, and I'm just being transparent about whatever it might be, right? But what you want to do, that might be a relationship goal. I don't know where you are in your relationships, but you got to go there. You got to have a spiritual goal, man. You got to say, I'm going to pray this amount of times. All these things are non-negotiable. I'm going to pray 5 times a day. I'm going to pray at this part of the day, this part of the day, this part of the day, and so forth. Or I'm going to meditate or sit in silence. Whatever it is that gets you in a place that gets you quiet so you can really, really do your thing and you can really, really elevate your self-awareness. You got to remember, man, we're trying to rebuild. We just took a loss and we're trying to make sure we never take a loss like that again. Another thing, your health. Your health, man. You got to check. You are what you eat. If you don't use it, you're going to lose it. So you got to take inventory, man. What is it that I'm eating? What kind of vibrational source is it? What kind of frequency is it? How do I feel after I eat? Things of that nature. What am I exercising? How much exercise am I get? I got to run. I'm working on running 1 mile, but right now I'm running a quarter mile. Quarter mile go to a half a mile. Half a mile go to 3/4. 3/4 go to a mile, and so forth and so forth and so forth. Because right now we're in the rebuilding stage. You know what I'm saying? If you just take those particular categories with those relatively small but significant goals, now you're on the way back, man, because we could take some losses, man. Some of us lose our parents. Some of us lose siblings, things of that nature, man, and you can sit in it. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying, feel the pain and then turn that pain into some profit. You got to make some money off of that off of that pain. You know what I'm saying? You got to advance off of that pain. You got to get healthy off of that pain, not become less healthy. You got to get healthy off of that pain, man. And then after you do that, man, find your tribe, bro. Gotta find your tribe, man. Find other people who are on the same path that you're on. Find other people that you're in alignment with, right? You know what I'm saying? Don't go solo. And I'm going to tell you why it's important not to go solo. Because you can relapse. It could take you back to another place. You understand what I'm saying to you? The whole point of getting together and connecting with some other solid men is that, all right, we got similar goals. And again, these are your accountability partners, and they can push you and you can push them and y'all can push each other, man. And that's community. You know what I'm saying? This the take a loss and rebuild community. These are the people that we're now affiliated with, right? So, you know, that's a part of it. Another step, your next step, and you got to forgive yourself. Stop talking down on yourself. Stop talking negative to yourself. I've heard people call themselves dummy. I've heard people say I'm not that smart. You got to understand something, man. That words are powerful. Death and life are in the power of the tongue, and those who love it will eat the fruit thereof. That's somewhere in Proverbs, but I'm just trying to tell you, you got to be proud of yourself. You got to stick with yourself. You got to forgive yourself, and you got to forget everybody that was involved with the loss, right? You know what I'm saying? You got to forgive the people that robbed you, the people that took advantage of you. You got to forgive the people that led you down the wrong path. You got to forgive everybody. More importantly, you got to forgive yourself. You know what I'm saying? You got to be able to say to yourself, yo, you know what? Today, I'm a better man than the man I was yesterday because you're going after those goals. You pick those goals, your finance goals, your relationship goals, your spiritual goals, your health goals. And there you go. And from that point, now we're going to move with intention. We got non-negotiable sleep, baby. Like non-negotiable. I'm going to sleep at this time. Know what I mean? You got non-negotiable spiritual time. You got non-negotiable health time. Non-negotiables, man. All this stuff got to be non-negotiable. Then you move with intent. Tomorrow, for instance, man, perfect example of what I'm talking about. Let's say the next day comes. You're going to say this shit. Today is a great day. It's intentional that it's going to be a great day. You're going to work so that it's a great day. And now you have goals and things that's lined up and getting in alignment with your intentions to accomplish them, man. You got to have that, man. It's not emotion. It can't be emotion. It got to be intent. There's this thing we got balance out. You got intent, right? And then you got emotion. Emotion, you got to be clear about it. You can't move with emotion because emotion is a liar. Emotion will tell you, I feel like this or I feel like that, or I don't feel like this and I don't feel like that. But you got to get out your feelings and fight. You got to fight to get back to your intent, man. And so, like I'm saying, I know there's a lot of us, we taking some losses. There's a lot of deaths and families going on and things of that nature. And, you know, you may be able to attach yourself to whatever I'm talking about, right? You may be able to attach yourself to it in some kind of way, shape, form, or fashion, but you got to go through those steps. I can't renumber them or anything like that, but you got to go through those steps, man. And that way you can move forward, you can rebuild, and you can get back to winning. Hey, man, I'm your boy Sugar Ray, and this is the I Don't Know Much Podcast.